In this video, I'm going to teach you how my student James, who's in his 50s, improved his level by 80 rating points with 5 days of in-person coaching with me. If you're feeling stuck with your table tennis, this video is going to give you exact clarity as to why this is happening and 6 key lessons that you must understand if you want to get back on the improvement path. I'm Heming Hu, a 2-time Olympic table tennis player. I've been the Australian #1 player in the past for many years, and I've also coached players of all levels for the last 13 years. So let's get into the first of 6 most important lessons that you must understand regarding table tennis level improvement. Point number 1, setting realistic but challenging goals. The mistake, setting goals way too far in advance rather than actually having a short-term goal. Yes, you need a long-term vision. That is obviously what gets you to keep going. But believe it or not, humans do have a tendency to hit a goal, and then once they hit that goal, they're happy for a moment, then they set a next goal. So word short-term has like a bad meaning to it in society, but short-term goals are important. You need to have something that drives you to be like, I want to hit this goal and I can do it rather soon. It's not going to take me the next 5-10 years. So for James is in his 50s. He's just sold his corporate company. Being at 800 rating points, central points in Australia, yeah, we want to get to 900 as early as we could. People underestimate that 100-point difference, how long it takes. Depending on the person's level currently, how many bad habits they have, so many other factors, it's going to take varying amounts of lengths. As a coach, I've been able to develop processes that just improve anyone. I know they'll get there. I just don't know how long it'll take, right? I didn't think he was going to get there within, a matter of less than a month. He's trying to reach 900 a goal. And he says, yes, I want to reach 1,000 in the next 2 years. And I thought, whew, this guy has realistic expectations. This is great. In my experience in the last 13 years, I've worked with young kids, university students, then I've worked with the ultra wealthy. These days, more so I'm working with the investors, successful business owners, the high net worth individual. And these people, despite what society will put on as a label to rich people, like these guys are the best to work with in my opinion, because they've already achieved success in some field themselves and they just tend to get it. Now, the only thing they need to learn is table tennis and being very good at competing. These are the 2 things that I'm very good at. These have taught me a lot of life skills that are transferable in other ways, but fundamentally, these are the 2 things that I'm very good at. Knowing how to compete and win, knowing table tennis specific stuff. Like these guys just need me to teach them that. They're the easiest to work with in that sense. These guys know that success takes you constantly knowing what it takes to get to the next level and being able to have the skills to do it. So they don't come up to me with like, hey, I need to improve 100 points in the next week or you're fired. They don't say stuff like that. Table tennis is not like fat loss or business goals in the sense that you can measure, okay, I can lose 1 kilo of body fat every week if I eat X amount of calories for my body. Brings me to point number 2. Stop thinking way too far ahead, solve the problem right in front of you, and just get to the next level that you need to get to. So James being at 815, you listening might be at a similar level or above. So, 815 rating central points is really about 1,100 to 1,200 USA rating points. Too many players are like, they're at 1,000 and they're like, oh, you know what? I'm just gonna forget about match pressure. I'm just gonna play as if I'm gonna play when I'm at 1,600. They think there's actually like something set in stone that they're actually gonna get to this level. Nothing is guaranteed in life apart from death, taxes, and all this other stuff, right? Like there is no guarantee that you're ever gonna get to 1,600 or levels that are way above yours. Again, long-term visions are great to have as goals, but you need something immediate as a short-term goal that drives you, because that's all you should be worrying about. Because in James's case, what gets him to 900 or 1,000, if he uses all those same things and he's at 1,500 trying to get to 1,700, those same things work here, but over there, they might be the actual things that make it worse. James knows this. There's no guarantee he's going to get to 1,500, right? If he does, we can then evaluate there. Is he improving? Is he stagnating? If he's stagnating, then what do we need to add more of? It's a myth to think that like, if I get to this level using this strategy, that's going to screw me over when I'm there. It's like, no, you can always change later on. I know an Australian kid he was the under 13 Australian champion, and people would say he slaps the ball, he's going to be stuffed as a senior. Then when he actually became a senior, he became top 10 in Australia in men. Now he did this because yes, okay, he couldn't keep slapping, but at a certain age, 16, 17, 18, he started to learn how to topspin and return serve even better and all that sort of stuff, right? So you can always change later on. Another big one is a lot of players, they may be stagnating at a certain level, whatever it is, 1,300. To get to the next level, they may just not be aware of what it takes, or they may be aware of what it takes because someone with expertise has pointed it out, but then they're not willing to practice those ugly things that it takes to get there. Right? And it's uncomfortable. It's an uncomfortable reality to face. They would rather say, you know what? stuff it. I'm just going to play the game for fun. I want to enjoy the beauty of the game. But these are all ego defense mechanisms because they don't actually know how to get to the next level. So this is again where the high net worth individual, they understand what it's like to get to a high level at something. They have stagnated before. So they're very quick to go, you know what, I need help. Stuck at this level. There must be something that I'm missing. Let's talk about what we did for James. So at 800 rating central points, which is again, roughly around that 1,000 to 1,200 US ATT, really it's just about getting the first attack. At this level, more or less the same thing, even at like 400 or 500 points above, but they're just gonna make it more difficult for you to do this, which is get the first attack. I see James is physically quite capable. Let's get him actually intentionally serving backspin. And when he does serve backspin, opponents have to push under it with some backspin back. He can lift the next ball with heavy topspin, both sides. When he gets pretty good at that, he can reliably serve backspin, wait for it, open, and with such heavy spin, they're always gonna give him a free point. Now, the other one was where he serves topspin. He loved that. This was the biggest thing because at this level, up until a very high level, players don't like to have to forehand flip or backhand flip. It's just not a thing that's taught to us very well. So we want to use this human tendency against other humans at this level. If we look at winning and losing, which is a huge part of competition and sport, as a fundamental, it's about getting points, getting matches. Now, how do we do this? We look at the human tendencies at that level and we play against it. So because we know people don't like to have to flip, they flip very poorly, or they don't read topspin serves very well. He serves topspin, he's going to get a lot of pushes going up. He's going to get a lot of weak flips to which he can step out and go boom and boom. If we were to spend more time together in the next year, I would develop this even more to where it's just such a strength. It's evident to see when he went back into his hometown in Sydney, he was already able to do this and start winning a lot more points. Even in Melbourne, when I reached out to people of a similar level, he was able to score points against them again and again and again. Now in training where you're in a pressure-free environment where you can throw stuff out there and test, the confidence that you get, that he got from just doing it and seeing people pop it up, that's confidence that can't be visualized. Key takeaways from point number 2 is you need to figure out against the current players of your level, where are you losing points? Where are you not winning points but you could? What are tendencies and things that would work against them? And if you haven't been at a level before that you're trying to get to, it's almost impossible to know how to do this without someone with expertise in it who's done it before teaching you how to do it. Ideally, this person has been to your goals and also has experience teaching people like you to get to their goals, right? Because then they know it and they can teach it. As well, we tend to think for beginners, we just need to get the fundamentals. And in translation, what we think this means is you need to hit a forehand and a backhand. It's like, yes, but just because there's not a lot of people out there that serve and return well, therefore, there's not going to be a lot of people that can teach it well, because that's an even harder skill. A lot of people then go into clubs and the priority is fun at the very start. I get that. But then they get into a higher beginner level where they're starting to compete and they want to win. Now, we mistakenly think that it's okay for beginners just to play a basic forehand and a backhand because it's funner. It's not that hard to master. Forehand and backhand topspin against someone's block, against a medium pace ball that's unchanging. Just because that's common, that doesn't mean that an absolute beginner shouldn't be trying to get very good at serving and returning, know how to read spin, the properties of a serve, know how to serve and what's coming back. So we did this for James. We made sure he starts serving and returning better. Of course, we also did spend time making sure his forehand topspins were on point against different kinds of balls, flat ball, backspin ball, high ball, slower ball. There is a lot more I want to do with him in the future. He certainly hasn't mastered this, but he certainly has made some steps forward. Number 3 is to stop blaming pressure mindset. They're not the reasons you lose. I get it. Like when you're stepping out there in a competition, you're like, holy crap, I'm so nervous. And you think, oh, well, in training, I felt so good. Now in pressure, it's just I can't do it. But let's look beneath the layers and let's really analyze what's going on. Pressure will reveal what you trust and don't trust. If you were super nervous, 2 sets all, 9 points all, and you had a high ball to smash, you would be nervous, right? Because you don't want to lose this point, but you probably trust yourself to smash a high ball and you're going to keep doing it. Now, why is it that in training, you might have a backhand topspin against backspin when your training partner or your coach gives you a ball that's not super deep, it's not nasty, it's got some backspin, but it's not terribly heavy or it's not empty. And you're like, yeah, this feels great in training because you're making training too comfortable, too easy, too simplistic, and not in a good way. Simple can be good simple or bad simple. This is bad simple because in a real match, in a point style situation where it starts with serve and receive, especially if you're playing dodgy opponents, their pushes are going to come higher, deeper, heavier, less heavy. They're going to come with a lot of variation. So it's not enough just to backhand topspin against that average ball. You have to be able to make micro adjustments to all these micro nuances. This is why you see for Marlong's a lot better than me, but at a certain level where me as a professional player in the past and Marlong, we would rather use this than this ever. It's a no-brainer to use this because no matter what micro adjustment you give, heavier, deeper, higher, we're able to still adjust this shot to that. So of course we want to use it. You, on the other hand, you come into a match, well, I'm always pushing. Think about it. You're never going to get rid of pressure. That's like saying, next time I get hungry, bro, I'm just going to tell myself I'm not hungry. It's like, no, that's not realistic. Hungry because your brain's like, I need to eat to survive. Pressure is normal. Stop demonizing it. We kind of think, don't be nervous. People around tell you that, but it's like, you're going to be nervous. Anytime you have the emotion of, I want to win and I don't want to lose, you're going to be nervous. I train people with the presumption of when they're nervous, are they going to be able to use this? Now, this means when you're standing in front of that ball, it could come deep, heavy, shorter, with anything, right? You might now suddenly be like, oh, like, I don't know. I'm feeling pretty 50-50 at best with this backhand topspin now. Even though in training, I felt very confident. So I've got like a 95, maybe even 100% chance or confidence of making this. It's a no-brainer. You're going to go for this. So you need to build this to the point where it's a no-brainer, and that's when you'll stop the pushing. You won't stop the pushing just because you're trying to tell yourself, next match, I'm just not going to be nervous. That's not going to work. You've tried this. It's very much a Dunning-Kruger effect. Now, anyone in the world of business or investing, you've heard this one. You don't understand what you don't know. I'll use myself as an example. I'm at a good club level in tennis, can beat some young kids in the state team, but I'm not anywhere near the level I am in table tennis. I look at some professional tennis players and very advanced tennis players, and I don't see the difference. But there is actually a huge difference. It's just, there's so much more levels above me that I can't comprehend it. Now, the same thing exists with table tennis. You never hear professionals say, you rarely ever, unless it's like Olympic Games where they actually pressure made them lose focus. Every time professionals lose matches, they always come off the court saying, not good enough. Like, they realize it's because under pressure, if you weren't able to use this thing, you don't have enough trust in it. They realize pressure just reveals what you do trust enough and what you don't. When pressure hits, which it will, you will use what you trust enough. You won't use what you don't trust enough. So this is the same thing for club level. You need to build your skill sets that you want to use so all-roundedly and so much that it's a no-brainer to use them. You feel great in training because you simply follow what everyone else tells you to do. You make training way too simplistic. You don't cover your bases. You don't build the shots to where it's un-F-withable. There's a lot of variation in table tennis. Stop thinking of your shots as when A comes, I use B. When B comes, I use C. Think of it as when A comes, what variation is still on it, and how do I use this shot? What adaptations do I still need to make? It's a lot to think about. I get it. This is why your subconscious, your unconscious brain, which is 95% of our decisions, which is our faster brain. So if I pretend to punch you in the face, you're going to react subconsciously like that. It's a survival mechanism. If I say what's 6 plus 6, you're going to consciously think and tell me 12. You need your subconscious to train these things so correctly and so well that when you come into a match, you're standing in front of an opponent. You don't have the time and freedom to be like, pause. What's on that ball? What is it? Like, you have to be able to react automatically. Now, you can't do this unless they're trained reactions. So people think I'm so fast when they watch me play table tennis. It's so natural, but it's like, it's taken me 15 to 23 years of figuring it out. And then these are automated correct reactions over time that I don't have to think about it when it happens. I just automatically, when I see a ball, I already pick up how it's hit, what's on it, what not to do and what to do, because I've done it a lot and I've evaluated a lot. Now that we're concluding point number 3, remember, pressure only reveals what you don't trust. It's not the cause of you losing. Handling pressure, it's one piece of many different skills that you need if you want to become a better athlete and a better table tennis player. Point number 4, you need to find out what's really costing you matches. I analyze players' matches because